The Bukhansan National Park in Seoul is rare for a large national park to be close to a big city. There are more than 100 temples in the mountainous area that covers 31 square miles in northern Seoul. It also has more than 1,300 different plant and animal species. Bukhansan is the most popular national park in the world because it's close to 20 million people who can get there by car. Bukhan Mountain, which has 3 main peaks and means mountain north of the Han River, is the name of Bukhansan Park. Bukhansan is the tallest mountain in Seoul, and it can be seen from many parts of the city. People built a fortress here in the 2nd century to keep out people from coming from the north, because this area was a border. For more than 30 years, it has been one of the most popular national parks in the world. The national park was formed in 1983. There has been a lot of walking in the park, which has caused a lot of environmental policies and rules to be put in place to keep the park safe for future generations. Things you can do: granite peaks, flowing streams, and wild forests are all in Bukhansan National Park, which is a great place to go. There are a lot of people who love nature at the park. They go there to hike, look for local birds, and enjoy its natural beauty. The park also has a lot of cultural and historical things to see, from temples to fortresses. Jingwansa Temple was first built in the 11th century. It is one of the most important temples in the city of Seoul. It's known as a place where people learn and has a huge library that was built to teach Confucian scholars. Sadly, the original temple was destroyed by fire during the Korean War. It has since been rebuilt to its original glory, though. The temple still has a lot of faith in higher education. It used to be a place where female monks learned how to be monks, but now it's a place where visitors can stay and learn about monastic life. Hwagyesa Temple is one of the most beautiful temples in Bukhansan National Park. It has a lot of colorful architecture, a lot of gardens, and a lot of Buddhist statues. People who live there do 3,000 bows every last Saturday of the month, which is why it's known as the Temple of 3,000 Bows. It was built as a hermitage in 1522. As the northern border of the ancient city, Bukhansan Mountain was a natural way to keep out foreigners. But in the 2nd century, the Bukhansan Fortress was built to make the city even more safe. The impressive stone fortress is still there, even though the original fortress was destroyed. The current version of the fortress was built in 1711, and it is an example of Joseon Dynasty architecture. The best hikes and trails. Hiking is the main thing to do in Bukhansan National Park, and there are a lot of trails to go on all over the place. However, because so many people come to Bukhansan, trails are often closed on a rotating basis to protect them from being used too much. The visitor center is where you can find out which trails are open on the day you're there. Dinamon Course. This trail takes you through some of the most beautiful parts of the park. It's great for seeing a variety of things. Because the trail is long and takes 2.5 hours, it's a good choice for people who are new to hiking, as well as people who want to take their kids. Abong Course. This is a very scenic trail that goes under Dabongsan Mountain and to the Songchu waterfall. For about 2 hours, you'll have to walk up and down some hills, but the trail isn't very hard. Located in Bukhansan National Park, Bigandi Peak is the highest point in the park. It is 2,744 feet above sea level. Most people start the hike at the park's west entrance, where they have to walk on dirt paths, climb stairs, and sometimes scramble over huge granite boulders to get to the top. The last part of the hike isn't easy, but there are ropes already set up to help you get up the mountain. Once you get to the top, you'll be able to see Seoul spread out in every direction. Places to stay in the park. Camping isn't allowed in the park, so the only way to stay in the park is to stay at one of the Buddhist temples and do temple stay programs. Visitor can get an inside look at temple life through programs that focus on meditation and Buddhism. Those who go eat simple vegetarian food and sleep on the floor in shared rooms, but the cost is very reasonable and the experience is priceless. From downtown Seoul, you can easily get to Jumsunsa Temple, which is about 600 years old. It's a long way from the city, but you'll feel like you're in another country. Monks live at the temple in a very traditional Buddhist way, adding a unique cultural experience to your trip to the countryside. People around the world love Hwagyesa Temple because of Ven Soon-san, a monk who lived at the temple until he died in 2004. The 3,000 bows ceremony takes place on the last Saturday of every month at the temple. This is a great time to stay at the temple. This is why most of the time people choose to stay at a temple. Bukhansan Temple has been known for its temple food for more than 1,000 years. It's a great way to get to know more about the culture around you while you stay at a temple. At a place nearby, there are a lot of places to stay in Seoul, from small guest houses to big hotel chains from around the world. It doesn't matter that the national park isn't close to the city center, because public transportation makes it easy to get there. You can stay anywhere in the city and pick your favorite neighborhood. There are a lot of love motels near the park's entrances if you want to stay close and cheap. These weird motels started out as a way for young couples to stay together in a country that has strict rules about dating. They have since become popular with tourists who want a cheap place to stay for the night, though. Hotel 28 Myeongdong is a small boutique hotel in the Myeongdong neighborhood of Seoul. It has a lot of nice extras, like yoga mats in the rooms. It's in the middle of the city, so it's easy to see everything. It's also only 40 minutes by public transportation from the national park. It's called the Supia Guest House, and it's a traditional Korean home that has been turned into a guest house. It's a more authentic place to stay than a hotel. It's in the northern part of the city in the Mapo-gu district, which isn't very popular. It takes about 40 minutes to get there by public transportation. Getting there. There are many ways to get to Bukhansan National Park from anywhere in Seoul. You can take the subway or the bus to get there. Bukhansan National Park is on the west side. To get there from the subway line 3, the Orange Line, go to Gupabal Station and take exit 1. Then, take a bus to the Bukhansan Mountain Entrance bus stop. You can get to the east side of the park by taking the light blue subway line 4 to Seoul Station. Then walk, take a taxi, or take a bus to the park's front door. Taxis from Seoul Station to the nearest point of entry cost about $15, which is a good deal. If you have a car, there's a lot of space for you to park if you want to drive. You'll have to pay for parking though. Tips for your trip. The national park, the temples, and the Bukhansan Fortress are all free to enter, as is the national park. Every season can be very hot or very cold. The park is always open. Spring and fall are the best times to go hiking, not to mention the beautiful spring flowers and fall leaves. Stop by the Bukhansan National Park office to get a trail map and English language information about the park's history and wildlife. In Korea, public spaces are very well organized and kept up. Bukhansan National Park is no different. The park has a lot of amenities, like a lot of parking, clean restrooms, benches, picnic tables, and miles of well-kept trails, many of which are set on wooden boardwalks. Hiking gear can be bought at a small shop in front of the mountains. There are vendors there who sell hiking gear like gloves, bandanas, coolers, and other things that will make your trip more fun.